Hi guys, welcome back to Mums in Melanin. My name is Takumbo.
I'm Ayola.
I'm Debbie.
I'm Takoni.
And this week we're talking about hygiene. So talking about how you look after your children for when they're babies, how does it change as they get older. We'll get into all the good stuff. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe.
And click the bell.
Over to you, Ayola.
So, I don't know, I think first thing that comes to mind with hygiene is from when they're babies. And I'm thinking how often, I think different people have different viewpoints or perspective as to how often to bath your child.
Yeah.
When they're just born, because they're so delicate, they're so small, and they're not really sweating, they're not really overexerting themselves. I don't know, I think when Makai was just born, I was probably doing every other day. Every other day, giving him a nice hot bath, and I think I did it in the evenings. Like, it was definitely just before bed, giving him the stretch, you know, make sure it felt all good and warm and all the rest of it. But again, Makai was born in the summer, so I do remember him, like, he didn't sweat, but you know, you just think they're hot.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you know, children, you have to put the hats on and just kind of make sure they're warm. So I think I did it possibly every other day, possibly because firstly, I just felt like he should bath, and secondly, because it was warm, so I wouldn't have left it any longer personally.
When
Like,
did you give him his first bath? How old was he?
Good question.
First
So
day?
his first, no, it wasn't first day because I was in
Like
hospital
7
for quite a
days
while.
before the naming, no?
Yeah, it was before the 7th day. I'd like to say maybe like 4 or 5 days, something like that. But then I remember he did have a few baths like straight after that because of the skin and the dry skin, all of that. But then generally the routine became every other day. First bath I didn't do. I don't know when the time will come that I'll bath a child and do that first bath. Like, they're so tiny and so delicate and slippery even. Like, it's a bit, yeah. But anyways, I don't know, what were you guys doing when your babies were born? Were you bathing them like regularly or every other day, every day?
Mine was every other day, and then the day in between would be like a head to toe.
Yeah, clean down.
So
kind of
yeah,
thing.
like,
Exactly.
but then it's, in my head to toe is like I'll have like a warm bucket of water, and then the flannel, and then I wipe the head, wipe the neck, all the crevices, all the ends and betweens and all of that.
Yeah.
So it felt like they'd had another bath.
Exactly.
Because it was just a bath outside of the bath.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Yeah,
One
I
that you're
did that.
comfortable doing as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm stripping them, I'm creaming their whole body and massaging it as I go along, like, you know, lifting the little rolls that they be having.
Yeah, man, the creases in the legs.
Looking in the belly button, like, so proper bath, like fully fledged water would be once every other day, and then the wipe down in between. But yeah, that'd be my routine, like at least for the first 6 months, and then after that it became every day, and then that was it. And sometimes, depending on the time of year, it could be like twice a day. So I personally feel like, you know, you start your day, you have a shower, you prepare yourself for the day, but then some days, like, you've done a lot. You're running around, you've been out, you've been muddy or whatever. So you need to have a bath that night as well. Yeah. But then I know that some parents will get up in the morning and their child bathed in the night, so they'll just give them a wipe down and go. It's a new day, so I have to bath them again for that day. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
I'm the same. I do think it depends on the child, it depends on their age, because when they get, it depends on the time of the year, because obviously the older they get, the more they run and sweat. Some children are very, very perspirant, so they sweat a lot. Do you know what I mean? So a child like that, I would expect, personally, if I had a child like that, I would be bathing that kind of child like probably twice a day, particularly if it's summer, morning and night, just to keep them fresh, all the rest of it. I mean, children don't necessarily smell, but it's just you're sweating, isn't it? So it's on the skin. Do you know what I mean?
I think generally we will copy what we would do ourselves, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, if you were sweating or doing whatever, you would shower again at the end of the day, or even in the afternoon or whenever. You would do the same for your children. I think.
But I do think sometimes, you know, babies, man, they just have a poo explosion and you just bath I remember days like, I didn't intend to bath you tonight. You were cleaning them all, I bathed you this morning.
How about I didn't intend to bath you as I'm about to go out.
Yeah.
I need to come back. I actually need to hold you down.
Look, there was one poo explosion that happened at 4 a.m. in the morning.
Punami, that's what they be calling it.
Yeah. And the thing is, that kind of poo, you can't, like, cleaning it is just not sufficient. Like,
it's linked onto the sheets.
I will never be, I will never feel like, I feel like I can still smell it until I've actually washed you. Like, and times like that, I remember one day I just thought, is this really what I signed up for? 4 a.m. bathroom? Like, is this a joke, you know? But I don't know. I think as they get older, I think my question is, when do we introduce, I don't know, like
deodorants and stuff.
Maybe feminine wash. How do we feel about stuff like that? Like products for children. Like.
I think with deodorants, once like you start noticing that you can see the changes, like puberty's beginning. So with Kiana, I could see that. All right, cool. You know, you're transitioning into a young lady now, and I'm very much the mum that nobody can run joke on my child, because it's not somebody else that's gonna be like, you stink. No, like before, if I've smelled, did you bath or what? You know, like, so that it's already like, oh, mom, okay, I'm gonna shower now. So you're not like, so it's not like you go outside and somebody says, hey, you stink, and then it's knocked you for 6. Yeah. At least you can be like, okay, calm down. I've been running around all day. I'm gonna go home and bath. You know, like it's already in you to be like, it's okay, but you need to deal with it. Do you know what I mean? So when it got to that age, maybe like 10, like, okay, let's go and choose a roll-on. We can see which one you like, which one, you know, the smells, different scents or whatever. Also, we've been for a few because some didn't really work for her. You know, different deodorants work differently with different bodies, whatever, etc. So now her room smells perfect. When she goes to school now, she'll be spraying her many perfumes and it's nice because you need to be able to take care of yourself. Yeah. Like for me, in my house, hygiene is a big thing. Like you're not gonna be nasty. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's just it should be it's me that's paying for the water. Thames Water, they're not gonna chase you. It's me they're gonna chase you. If that's the case, don't be scared. Go and bath. Yeah. There's no problem here.
It's
like
just home training, isn't it?
Yeah.
Part of being able to look after yourself. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
And it leads to good health as well. Like you having that. Good hygiene as well. Because poor hygiene, you end up in embarrassing bodies now. You'll be saying, I've had this thing for 10 years.
Embarrassing bodies?
Yeah. And you'll be asking them, how did you have this thing on your foot for 10 years? You didn't think to go and talk to your doctor about it. It just doesn't make sense. But yeah, personal hygiene is very important for me in my household. Like, it's a must.
If a child wanted to start using deodorant from, I don't know, like 8, would you be against it?
Why would they need to?
Yeah, what?
So would you be against it then?
No, but you're saying if they want to start using it.
If they just wanted to, curiosity, innit? Kids, like Mikhail can sometimes pick up, you know, like they like to emulate stuff. So,
you know
would
what?
You be anti? Would you tell them no?
I personally, on one hand, I'm like, no, simply because there's been a lot of studies that show that the roll-ons and the antiperspirants, they bring on puberty a lot quicker. Oh. Right. So for me, unless it's a point where they actually need it, it's fine. Like, do you know what I mean? Obviously, I don't know. I haven't looked into it too tough. But the fact that it's been said and I know it's out there, until you actually need it, let's just hold off on it. It's fine. You're 8. You know, you're not really going through puberty.
But puberty can start as early as 8.
That's what I was thinking.
It can, but if it hasn't,
some people got their periods like that.
And now it's more. And now it's more.
I get that, but if it hasn't, why? You know what I mean? Like,
but with girls, I guess, what are you looking for in terms of signs of puberty? Because that is one of them.
But I'm saying like,
or if they're not smelling.
For to use, this is it now. To use deodorant, it's because you feel like you may have an odor or you want to prevent an odor. But if that odor is not there, what are we doing then? Do you know what I mean?
I'm just thinking. I can't remember when I needed deodorant, but I was given deodorant way before my period.
But you were given it by the adult, right? Yeah. The adult probably felt like you needed it at that time.
Maybe, or it's just.
Do you know what I mean?
Because it's habits as well. Do you know what I mean? Maybe. Good habits. Maybe. So maybe before you need it, but it's just getting you ready, because everything is getting you ready.
Also, it's about your build as well. Because some children, like, they're quite slender and they don't sweat as much, so they don't have a build up of any like excess odors. You know what I mean? But then the bigger, you don't think so?
Do you know what?
Like, you're a bit bigger, you're a bit more
sweaty. That's a Nigerian belief.
You think so?
I don't sweat.
Exactly. Some people don't sweat, some people don't.
Because people do say that, but I agree that it's not. Sometimes you actually find very slim people that sweat.
Yeah.
If they're quite like hairy as well, not like hairs that you can necessarily see, but you know it comes from like, you know what I mean? It comes off of your hairs and your body hairs. Yeah.
So, I don't know.
For Sienna, I think maybe, and I guess for me already, I feel like when young children are in like year 3, year 4, if you go into the classrooms, they smell. You can smell BO. It's true. When I was at school now, I smell it. Like, you can smell the BO. So for Sienna, when maybe it was the beginning of year 4, maybe like towards the end of year 3. I know it must have been beginning of year 4. So that's summertime. I'm like, come on, let's start, because I'm smelling it. I can smell it, and even if maybe you know, they're playing around, you know, they're running up and down, they're in school, whatever. Like the school uniform, when she takes it off, I can smell it, you know what I mean? I can see.
Before you could smell it, was it in your mind to start letting her use deodorant?
Yeah,
or is
like,
it when you started smelling it?
Okay, so even before then, there's times that she'll ask. She may ask to use my deodorant.
Kids do that sometimes.
Okay, yeah.
But it got to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm going to get you yours because you shouldn't be using mine. Like, get you something that's friendly for your skin, and then the younger ones now, it's funny that you say about the puberty, like it bringing puberty on early. I haven't heard that before. But Azariah and Zeke, they want to. Like, they want to. Like, they got to come out the shower and say, Mum, wait 1 second, I need to spray my armpits.
It's funny because on one hand, I feel like I'd probably give my child like a daughter of mine, like before, like at the age of 8 or whatever, body spray, deodorant. I don't mind that. I think it's nice, like going out in the
perfume or body spray.
Probably body spray at 8. I don't think I'll be buying you perfume. I
Obviously
think
child friendly.
so like, with the question mark, you know, that little SO spray, something like that, nice, you know, fresh. That I think that would be okay. We're not gonna start wearing vagina tune, like you know, it's just not gonna work. I'm here for. Anyways, but I think I wouldn't mind that because as a female, I just think it's nice to know that it's nice to smell nice. It's a good, I don't know, way of life, a good habit for them to have. But at the same breath, there is an argument or like a viewpoint that we're letting them grow too quickly and they're not just being kids. Like, because kids shouldn't really have to think about, do I smell? They're just kids and innocent. And if they don't smell, then there's no issue to fix.
Yeah.
So sometimes there's I've heard of a viewpoint where it's kind of like, are we making them conscious too quickly or making them adults too quickly?
I think for me, I think like when it's your body, you have to be conscious of it though. Do you know what I mean? Like you have to, and it varies from child to child what they perceive that as, like or what they're taught to perceive that as. But your presentation should be important to you. Do you understand? Your clothing should be clean. These are all just things that are just it's a building block. Do you know what I mean? Like, and at every stage it will look different. But I feel like hygiene, presenting yourself properly, looking up, being able to bath yourself, looking after yourself. It's all building blocks, isn't it?
That's so funny that you say that, because in the mornings when Isaiah gets ready for school, I'll say to him, okay, go look in the mirror. Do you look smart and respectable? He'll look in the mirror, he'll fix his tie. He'll be like, you look smart and respectable? He'll be like, yeah. He'll fix himself. Yes, Mom, I look smart and respectable. Like, and I'm just like, like how you present yourself is important, because that's how people see you before they hear you. They see you before they know who you are. So if you look at somebody, sometimes you walk on the street and you walk past someone and you just hold your breath because you think they smell. Just
and
because
they may not.
They may not. Because of how they look, you've already started holding your breath. It's bad. It's bad because you prejudge people on how they look. You already look like what do you call that? Pretty girl thing. Like, oh, the girl looks pretty. Like, oh, let's be friends. You're so pretty. But what does that mean? You don't know the person. They could be a serial killer, but because they're pretty now, you want to be their friend. Like, it's just.
The thing is, I think, like, you remember that they're children anyway. So as much as they may show interest or into their parents, it's not going to be like an adult. It's not going to be like how
it depends on the child though. Remember that children children are very different.
Very different.
Some children, they will stop at the little the spray and they will stop with basically based on the product you've given them. They're happy with it. Some children want to go the extra mile. Do you know what I mean? So I think it kind of depends. You know what I mean? Like before you know it, they're conscious of this. And
I think so, but they're not gonna do it like an adult does, where you're gonna cover everything. So you're with an adult, you're gonna obviously you make sure you're showered or whatever, you've do deodorant, your hair, makeup's done, whatever you're wearing is just set out. Like is very different to a child. I think with children, they're thinking, okay, I just need to go. Like I need to get wherever I'm going. Sienna is very much appearance. Like she wants to pick what she wants to wear, what she's wearing. She loves fashion and all that stuff. Her hair, don't mess with it. She wants hairstyles. Mommy, every day can I have a new hairstyle, this stuff. But deodorant, things like that, because it's not like, maybe it's because it's just something that she hasn't been doing from way back, and clothes and the rest of it is, she forgets. So I'm having to remind her until that becomes ingrained in her to look to herself. So I think as much as you will remind Isaiah, make yourself respectable. Unless it's something that he holds highly, he may forget to So just remembering that they're children, they're not going to do it like adults, but it's still that guide and showing, okay, this is what you do for the future.
Yeah.
But it's literally setting that foundation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think it makes a very big impact because people don't probably realise that you start everything from young.
Yes.
That's what gets them used to being conscious of hygiene. Starting when they might have an odour at like, I don't know, 14, 16, whatever it is.
That's too late. That one's a part of your... It's embedded now. That's your... You know everyone has their own scent. That's their scent now. Why is your scent Leo? That's so bad.
Oh my gosh, but it's true. But back then they're stuck in their ways. They're used to getting ready quickly, getting on with it. So this thing now becomes a chore and a bit of a burden, and I don't even need this. You know what I mean? So it's like I can understand why some people may feel that it needs to be age appropriate, quote unquote. But at the same time, if you start them young, it doesn't have to be with perfume or sprays. It's just like looking presentable, just knowing that you look good, you smell fresh, your hair's well presented, your shoes look decent. They kind of like Micaiah, he loves dressing up. Like right now, I didn't actually really know this was a phase. Like he's gonna be 5, he's 4.5, and he honestly every day he's picked out a fit.
Or just
costumes
or you mean
I mean it
outfits,
actually fit. I'm wearing these jeans when I go to with this top. At the moment it's actually kind of working because the colours are kind of making sense. I'm like, okay, like today that's it. But sometimes if you're like, wear tracksuit today, it's cold. It's like, no, I really want my skinny jeans and my something polo and my something, you know.
It turns into arguments, bro.
But I think
I want like short sleeves.
I've noticed even when he's eating, he wants the table to be clean. Even when he's wearing his socks, he wants it to be fresh. So it's like I like the fact that he's conscious of these things and it's come from somewhere. So surely when you're 16, it'll be second nature.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? It's not something you're having to kind of
and it's a reflection on you though. Because if you're not going to sit down at a table that's dirty, why should he? He's going to think, okay, well, mommy doesn't do it. Like,
but then I think if we like Micaiah, for example, he smelled perfume. Oh, mum, you smell lovely. What's that? Is that your perfume? Like he knows about perfume. If it was a female now that's using perfume or using whatever, after a while they're not going to want eyeliner and then they're going to want a bit of lippy or a bit. Do you know what I mean? Is there a concern with that or not? Or
everything within reason, and I guess as a mum now raising a teenager in the current times, like. Image is everything. Social media is when we were growing up, we didn't have social media like that. Should be if you wanted to go online, you have to wait for your mum to get off the phone. Like it wasn't how it is now. There wasn't like put your picture on the internet, everybody comment on all of that. So now in the age of social media, like girls that are 15, they look like they're 20. I'm very like mindful of my daughter. She's quite big for her age. Like she's fully grown, isn't it? She's very tall. She asked me if she could wear lashes. I just smiled at her. Me and you are not wearing lashes together, babe. It's not gonna happen. What you need to do is take your steps and go and wear mascara, because everything in this time. Do you know what I mean? The first time I threaded my eyebrows, I was 18 years old.
Yeah,
do you know, like
I was 18. Makeup, I think I was 18, 19.
I was in my 20s before I wore makeup. How about that?
Like that no more.
That's what I'm saying. But I understand the society we live in today, but I also understand that there's steps to be taken, and it's not because we're now in 2022 going into 2023 that you're now going to tell me, yeah, man, but today we do. No, it's fine, because there's still mascara that you can wear here. If you like, go and wear what's the next one? What's after mascara now? You put in the line and there's many steps you can get before. If you want the eyelash to look longer, put the line here like this, from the corner. You've got many steps before we get, even go and use curler to make it flick more before we get to lash. Can you just, it's too much, because already you're trying to make yourself older than you are. David, that's it. Kiana, come. Why did your skirt look short? I just lifted that up. I saw you rolled that. It's okay, roll it down. Her top button was undone. I buttoned it for her. She was like, Mama, come, don't worry. When you get to school, FaceTime me. Because, and I get it. Like, I used to do all these things, but for me, no, it's fine. Just take time. I keep saying I want my children to be children for as long as possible. Just take time.
Because I feel like the reason why I brought that up is because I think once upon a time when we were given, I don't know what we used to wear, but those body sprays or whatever, we were content with it. We smelled nice, we were content with it.
What was it?
Impulse. That was what I was trying to remember. Impulse.
And then when Avalon, is it Avalon?
Avon.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, man.
Anyways, But I just think it started and stopped there. Like, I was happy with my what do you call it, impulse and all these little bits. But I just feel like in this day and age, children, the impulse becomes, they're not satisfied with that. They want, because someone else is wearing Versace into school at that age. So it's like, it started with hygiene, it started with the smelling good, it started with just being clean, and then it became a beauty thing. Do you know what I mean? Or, so it's like, sometimes how do you...
it can even... Like,
it can link into so many different things, isn't it?
What is that?
Bringing what?
Like Louis bags to school and all of that.
It's like...
But the thing is, for me now, if you're going to school to focus on your focus, the bag you're carrying should not matter. You should be so stressed about the exams that you've got to come in. That bag is the last of your worries. You know, like, so you pick up any bag and just be going.
But there are kids that will come in with a bag and they're actually going to excel.
Yeah, like I'm thinking, when I was secondary school, there was a girl that had Gucci loafers and a Burberry scarf.
Who? Was it you?
No. One girl, like, yeah, but I just found it all so strange. Like,
was she not here? Was she not here?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was just like, and I just went, and then, that's it, I found it.
Were they fake?
No. She was wearing it, and I was talking to another girl in my class. And I was just like, what do you know? She goes, yeah, basically, families work differently. So her family, when they get money, they spend it on shoes and scarves. My family will do a holiday to back home to the Caribbean. Do you understand? So that's how we spend our £2,000 differently. And I was like, that makes sense.
Who said that? Wow. Casey has been keeping stories for 20 years.
But it makes sense. I mean, the girl's family, their priority was that. So when they get money,
was Shady McShady though, from early. From early.
When they get money,
no, I really need to know this coming. Tell me after the conversation.
When they said it, I was so in line. If I was like, it makes sense. There we go. But I say that to say that there's always, do you know what I mean? Kids will always, there's always someone that has something that, do you know what I mean? Like, it's a bit,
Anyways, I do wonder if there's a difference with how people treat their female children and their hygiene to their male children with their hygiene. But I suppose it's all subjective. You kind of have to figure out where your child is at, if they're going to take too far or not. And I suppose just educating them, just making them understand from young that hygiene is important. No one wants their child to go out there and, be labelled. That's your child, that's your responsibility. Do you know what I mean? So anyways, guys, we hope you've enjoyed our video today. Let us know what your thoughts are on ages to have sprays and perfumes and all the rest of it. We're interested. We want to know. See you next week.
Bye.